at all these deplorable people. Raise your hand if you're deplorable. By the way, they still think we're deplorable, right? They still think we're deplorable, but you're adorable deplorables. Thank you so much for having me. Ralph is a great, great friend. By the way, I don't know if you saw this. It just came across the wire on my Wall Street Journal app. Did any of you see this, that they're renaming, Biden wants to rename the BATF? Have any of you seen this yet? They're going to rename it the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Gas Stoves, Air Conditioners, Gas Cars. These people are pretty crazy that we're up against. And I got to tell you, I saw President Trump last week. You're going to see him today at the Business Roundtable event with 75 major CEOs. He knocked it out of the park. This guy is so on his A game right now. It's amazing. But I'll just one kind of fun story about Trump. So before he went on the stage, we're just chatting. I said, well, Mr. President, how did you come up with that great idea? I think it's a great idea. Let's not tax tips, right? What a great, great idea. I said, Mr. President, how did you come up with that? And he smiled at me. He said, a waitress told me that. Anyway, that's vintage Trump. He's a man of the people. All right, I'm going to try to give you a really quick presentation that usually takes about 25, 30 minutes in about 12, 13 minutes. So I'm going to talk quickly, but you're smart people because, look, it's all about the economy. Donald Trump is on Venus. Biden is on Mars. You could not be talking about two presidents that have more diametrically opposite views. I'm very proud of having served both in 2016 and this year as one of the senior economic advisors to Trump. And I guarantee you, when we get back in, we will turn around this economy in 90 days. I guarantee you. All right, so let's go. I call it the Bidenomics calamity because it has been a calamity. And obviously the number one issue, the reason that Donald Trump is going to win and Biden is going to lose is because of what has happened with inflation. And this just shows you almost every good and service has risen much. By the way, the official number is 20% for inflation since Biden came in. How many of you believe that number? Is it a lot higher? Much higher. I mean, 25, 30, 40%. I think these numbers don't even make sense. But that's a crazy amount of, by the way, a family of four goes to McDonald's now, they're paying $60. Right? People cannot afford what's going on. All right. This is just showing you the red line is the inflation rate under Trump. The blue line is under Biden. You can see the incredible difference, 3 times higher inflation under Biden. Now, this is an important one. This is what we've spent on COVID. $6 trillion, and most of it was spent under Biden. And this, I want to make a deadly serious point to you. This is really, really important. Can we all as a movement, can we all come together and make sure that never, never, never again will we allow the government to shut down our schools? Never again will we let them shut down our churches. Never again will they shut down our businesses, our parks. This was one of the greatest abuses of power of government in the history of the country, folks, and I guarantee you they want to do it again. They're going to use climate change or something else. And we have to stand in a movement and say never, never, never again. The abuse of power, by the way, lockdowns killed 3 times more people than were saved. The people who are, and by the way, I think Donald Trump was a spectacular president. The only mistake he made, he should have fired Anthony Fauci on day one. On day one, Anthony Fauci should have been fired. So this is the spending spree that caused this inflation. Government got to 50% of GDP, which made us a socialist country. And this is what Biden comes in. Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of spending to bankrupt our country. And by the way, I give talks around the country, for Trump on, what Biden has done. And the first question I always get asked by people, and I want your reaction, how many of you people think that what Biden is doing is intentional? Do you think it's is he trying to destroy the country? I mean, seriously, I don't like getting into people's motives, But if you wanted to destroy the country, you'd do exactly what Joe Biden has done, right? You would destroy our border. You wouldn't enforce the border. You would destroy our currency. You would let inflation go through the roof. You would stop producing American energy. You would let crime run rampant on the streets. You would devalue the dollar. All of these things Joe Biden has done, and it has caused irreparable harm to our country. Going to move on. This is the debt. These are the new numbers that just came out, folks. New numbers. Look at this. This is the first time in American history, even in a recovery, if you look at the new numbers, Joe Biden wants to take our national debt from $33 to $50 trillion. $50 trillion. When I first came to Washington and was proud to work for Ronald Reagan, the entire national debt was $1 trillion. Now we're headed to $50 trillion. That will bankrupt our country, and I guarantee you Donald Trump will turn this around. I'm going to kind of speed this up. This is the thing that's really cool, and this is one of the things we're proudest of. This shows you what happened to middle-income Americans in terms of their incomes under Trump. Look at this. We saw a $6,500 increase in incomes under Donald Trump in 4 years, which is spectacular. I showed these charts to Donald Trump just a couple weeks ago. He was amazed about this. So hold that thought, okay? A $6,500 increase in income under Trump. Look what's happening with Biden. Almost a $4,000 reduction. That's a $10,000 swing. Donald Trump is the blue-collar, middle-class president, and he will be again. Biden wants to raise taxes through the roof. This is serious stuff, folks. He wants to double the capital gains tax. He wants to double the small business tax. He wants to tax unrealized capital gains. I mean, we're literally, if you had a farmer who bought a farm for, say, $500,000, and 10 years later that farm is worth $3 million, he'd have to pay a tax on the $2.5 million appreciation of the farm, even though he still owns it. People would literally have to sell the farm to pay the taxes under Joe Biden. That is un-American. Under Joe Biden, the American tax rate on American businesses would be higher than under China and Russia. It's astonishing. I mean, is he rooting against America? Is this a Head Start program for all the other countries? We lowered the business tax to the low, and Biden has increased them. That's going to put America at a disadvantage. I'm going to speed ahead here because, okay, now this is a key. This is one of the most important charts in this presentation. Energy policy. You can see the green line there? That is the shale revolution, where we tripled American oil and gas output. And under Trump, under his drill, baby, drill policies, the United States in 2019 was producing more oil and gas than Russia and Saudi Arabia. Under Donald Trump, for the first time in our lifetimes, the United States was not just energy independent, we were the energy dominant country in the world under Trump. Now, look at the green line that goes straight down. How many of you in this room have heard of something called net zero? Raise your hand if you've ever heard of this. This is this lunatic, crazy idea by the left that we are going to dismantle all of U.S. energy. No oil, no gas, no coal production in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more oil, gas, and coal than any other country in the world. And by the way, this country was built on coal. I'm in favor of coal, I'm in favor of oil, and I'm in favor of natural gas. He wants to take it to zero. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to destroy the American economy, you destroy their energy source, and that's exact. And by the way, you have to be a lunatic. You have to be a crazy person to think that you can run a $28 trillion economy that makes everything from steel to cars to technology to the internet to the cloud to all of the buildings and things we have in this country. Does anyone actually believe we can provide enough power for this economy with windmills? I mean, seriously, it is a lunatic idea, and I think it's designed to, frankly, I think it's designed to destroy the economy. Now, this is an amazing chart. This is coal production of all the major countries. Because we've been closing our coal plants, and I think that's outrageous. We have clean coal in this country. But look at China. You see that? Is there anybody in this room who actually thinks President Xi cares about climate change? It's laughable. All he wants to do, they are laughing at us in Beijing, as Donald Trump would say. They're laughing behind our back. We are dismantling one of our great comparative advantages is that we have access to, and by the way, we should be using all our mineral resources as well, and Donald Trump will make that happen as well. Quickly, I want to just show you a couple more things, and then I have to bring this. If this just shows you which governors in America handled. How many of you are in a red state? Raise your hand. How many of you in a blue state? I'm sorry, folks. We're going to turn this country all red on Election Day. But look at this. The states in green, they're the ones that kept their economy open and handled COVID well. Look at what the red states, look at what the ones that are in red are the ones, California, New York, New Jersey, that shut down their schools, shut down their economies. It just shows that we handle things a lot better than they do. Now, the biggest thing that's happening in America, and I've got about 2 minutes left, is the massive migration of people and businesses and capital and money out of red states into blue states. And you want to see this is where, isn't it amazing? Progressives destroy everything they touch, don't they? Look what's happening in the cities. Look at what's happening in the states they run. So these are the number of people who are moving out of blue states. Look at New York. I'm from Illinois. Anybody here from Illinois? I'm a Chicagoan. What's happening? We got the worst governor and worst mayor in America in Illinois. But they're destroying our states. And you look at this, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and look at California. By the way, how do you destroy California? I mean, it's a slice of heaven. And for the first time in history of the United States, people are moving out of California because they can't stand the taxes, they can't stand the crime, they can't stand the meltdown of civilization in California. We are not going to allow Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to turn the United States into California, right? That ain't going to happen. So, oh, by the way, this is Gavin Newsom's plan to save on energy. Everybody's going to move out of California, and they won't have to use energy anymore. I mean, that's a great plan, Mr. Mayor. So let me just summarize because I've got 1 minute left. Donald Trump, who I've spent a lot of time with, and especially recently, he is at the very top of his game. And I don't always. And I have arguments with Donald Trump. By the way, this is done to our cities. But I'll tell you this: in every meeting I've been in with Donald Trump, whether it was in the Oval Office or on Air Force One or on his campaign plane when we've talked, even when I've disagreed with him, and one thing I like about Donald Trump, by the way, and admire about him is you can argue with him. But he's the president and the candidate. He's going to decide the policy. But I will tell you this, every single decision that he made, even when I disagreed with him, I knew there was always and everywhere about putting America first. And that's what this president will do. And we will make America great again. Thank you, folks. Great to be with you. We're going to win.